One of the ways that our customers are using Lens is to evaluate agricultural properties across their state or across their county. And so here we are in Northeast Colorado, where we see lots of these center pivots, and we're looking at high resolution imagery that you can easily access through Lens on a per acre basis. And so we can really easily understand what this property looked like at certain points in time. And via the order pane here, we can also see recent high resolution images that are captured as recently as last month. And we can order that on a per acre basis if we'd like to take a closer look here to evaluate what sorts of crops are planted, activities that are happening at a certain point in time, etc. But one of the ways that lots of our customers get value out of Lens when they're looking at agricultural plots like this is to actually understand trends over the past couple of decades. And so with the Analyze tool here, we can actually use that to select out an individual pivot like we're doing here. And then we can analyze that area for changes in vegetation to understand things like cover cropping practices, harvest trends, etc. And so looking at this graph here, we're seeing a bit of an interesting story over the past 10 years or so. And so going back to 2018, 2019, we can see some of these NDVI values aren't nearly as high as they were in some of the subsequent years. And by clicking on one of these individual data points, we can really easily understand why. So we can see here that actually only half of this pivot was put in production that year. Compare that to 2021, when this was fully irrigated and put in production, or 2022, when this field is actually fallow, which we can tell by just hovering over the graph here, and figure out that this indeed remained fallow until later that winter when it was actually cover cropped, given some of these higher NDVI values that we were seeing through the late winter. We can even see this sort of snowstorm with these white values that happened sometime in February of 2023. The really great thing about Analyze Area is just how it shows us these data points as recently as a couple of days ago. So this image was actually captured just yesterday and is really helpful for us to gauge when exactly this area was harvested. Now, for those of you that might be managing statewide programs and are looking to really scale these sorts of insights beyond just an individual parcel level, you might be interested in our Lens Dashboard feature. And so Lens Dashboard is the ability of our engineering team to actually make a custom Lens Dashboard graph for you that would aggregate those sorts of trends from thousands of parcels or hundreds of parcels into an individual graph. And so for those of you that might be evaluating cover cropping practices or other soil health initiatives that might be happening around your state, this is a really great tool to understand maybe control fields versus cover crop fields, or being able to compare statewide trends as you adopt statewide agricultural practices like the STAR program or other initiatives that might be really changing these sorts of soil practice at scale. And so with Lens, we can really easily aggregate all those trends into an individual graph here and see how individual parcels compare against that average that we're seeing really easily here in Lens Dashboard.